Cancer, when your body gets a troublemaker. Symptoms, survival, treatment costs. And a little dark 8-2MOR. Imagine your body as a gigantic city. It has highways, factories, power stations, a police force, a fire department, and most importantly, trillions of tiny cells working around the clock. But one day, a few cells decide they've had enough of following the rules. They stop listening. They stop dying when they're supposed to, and they keep multiplying. 1 becomes 2 to become 4 become 8, and before long, the entire city has a serious problem. That's one of the simplest ways to understand cancer, according to the World Health Organization. Cancer is a large group of diseases in which abnormal cells grow uncontrollably, invade surrounding tissues, and, in some cases, spread to other parts of the body. And here's the important part. Cancer is not automatically a death sentence. Many cancers can be treated successfully, especially when they are detected early. The problem is, your body usually doesn't send you an email saying, "Congratulations, you have a tumor. Please check your inbox for details." It is often stakes cancers, uno lung cancer. When breathing is nitrogen monoxide longer, just breathing lang. Cancer is one of the most common and deadly cancers worldwide. The WHO estimates that there were around 2.8 from lung cancer in 2024. Possible symptoms include a persistent or worsening cough, coughing up blood, chest pain, shortness of breath, hoarseness, unexplained weight loss, persistent fatigue, repeated respiratory infections. The tricky part: some early symptoms can look like an ordinary cold or respiratory infection, so someone might think, probably just because I smoked too much yesterday. Then, the next day, probably the weather. A month later, probably just getting older. And that is exactly why you shouldn't diagnose yourself using YouTube. So how long can someone live? There is no universal answer like, you have lung cancer, so you have exactly 2 years left. It doesn't work that way. Doctors consider the cancer type, stage, whether it has spread, the tumor's molecular characteristics, the patient's overall health, and how well the cancer responds to treatment. Early-stage lung cancer can have a much better outlook than cancer that has already spread. For advanced disease, treatment may focus on controlling the cancer, extending survival, and maintaining quality of life. What about the cost? Treatment can involve CT scans, biopsies, molecular testing surgery, radiation target therapy, immunotherapy. The total cost can vary enormously, so cancer doesn't just attack the body. Sometimes, with liver cancer, the boss who often arrives without warning liver cancer deserves special attention, particularly in countries where hepatitis B and C are common. According to the WHO, liver cancer is a leading cause of cancer death in Vietnam, and a large proportion of liver cancer cases are associated with chronic hepatitis B or C infection. Possible symptoms include colon fatigue, loss of appetite, unexplained weight loss, pain or discomfort in the upper right abdomen, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, abdominal, filling, losing or bleeding. The scary part? Early liver cancer may cause few or no obvious symptoms. The liver is like that employee who never complains. You give it more work, it keeps working. You give it even more work, it keeps working. Then one day, it finally goes, okay, meeting right now. What are the chances of survival? It depends heavily on the size and number of tumors, liver function, whether the cancer has spread, and what treatments are available. Some early-stage cases may be treated with surgery, ablation, or liver transplantation. Advanced cases can require much more complex treatment, and the cost. It may include blood tests to ultrasound, cord or MRI, scans, biopsy, interventional, radiation, targeted therapy. The price tag can vary dramatically. 3. Breast cancer. It's not just about a lump. Breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in women worldwide. Possible warning signs include a New lump in the breast or armpit. Changes in breast size or shape. Nipple becoming inverted unexpectedly. Unusual nipple discharge, especially bloody discharge. Changes in the skin of the breast, persistent or unusual. Breast discomfort, but remember, not every lump is cancer at the same time. You shouldn't assume it doesn't hurt. So it must be nothing. The human body doesn't always come with a convenient alarm system. Sometimes the warning light is tiny. Sometimes there isn't one. What about survival? When breast cancer is detected early, many patients have very good treatment outcomes. When it has spread to distant organs, treatment becomes more complicated and often focuses on controlling the disease over the long term. That's why early detection implique colorectal cancer. When the bathroom starts sending you SIGNA who estimates that there were around 1.9 million new cases of colorectal cancer and more than 900,000 deaths worldwide in 2022. Possible symptoms include persistent changes in bowel habits, diarrhea or constipation, blood in the stool, abdominal pain, bloating unexplained, weight loss, anemia, feeling like you still need to use the bathroom after going. The problem is that many people think, probably something I ate, probably just stomach trouble, probably because I had too much food yesterday. Maybe, but if symptoms persist or seem unusual, it's worth talking to a doctor because your digestive system may be trying to send you a message, and unlike your phone, you probably shouldn't swipe it away. 5. Stomach cancer when I'm just full. Isn't SOSIMPLA possible symptoms can include persistent indigestion, feeling full unusually quickly, upper abdominal, discomfort. Nausea. Loss of appetite, unexplained, weight loss, difficulty swallowing in some cases. Vomiting or black stools if bleeding occurs. The tricky part is that these symptoms can also happen with many non-cancerous conditions, so if you have indigestion once after eating an enormous pizza, please don't immediately announce, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have stomach cancer." Is not prostate cancer. The cancer that can sometimes take its sweet time. Prostate cancer may cause no symptoms during its early stages. When symptoms do occur, they can include difficulty urinating, weak urine flow, frequent urination, getting up often at night to urinate, blood in the urine or semen, pain in the back, hips, or bones in advanced disease. One interesting thing about prostate cancer is that some forms grow so slowly that doctors may recommend active surveillance rather than immediate treatment. In other words, finding cancer doesn't always mean everybody panic. Surgery tomorrow. Sometimes the doctor says, "Let's monitor this carefully." And that's another reason why cancer treatment has to be personalized. 7. Cervical cancer we can prevent to a significant extent possible. Symptoms include unusual vaginal bleeding, after sex, pelvic pain, abnormal vaginal discharge. Pain during sex. One of the most important risk factors is persistent infection with certain types of human papillomavirus, or HPV. This is where HPV vaccination and appropriate screening can play an important role. In other words, sometimes the best way to win a battle is to stop the battle from happening in the first place. 8. Blood cancers. When there were blood mass cancers include several different diseases, such as leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma. Symptoms vary depending on the specific disease, but may include colon fatigue, persistent fever, night sweats, unexplained weight loss, frequent infections, easy bruising, unusual bleeding, enlarged lymph nodes, bone pain in some conditions, and once again, one symptom does not automatically meant leukemia. Humanity would need to build a much bigger hospital, so how long can someone with cancer live? This is probably the question every patient and family wants answered, but the honest answer is, there is no universal countdown clock. Doctors need to know, what type of cancer is it? What stage is it? What are the tumor's biological characteristics? How old is the patient? What is their overall health? And most importantly, how does the cancer respond to treatment? Two people can have the exact same cancer diagnosis and have completely different outcomes. That's why statistics describe groups of people. They do not predict exactly what will happen to one individual. So when you hear stage 4 cancer means you only have a few months left, don't automatically treat that as a guaranteed sentence. Medicine is much more complicated than that. What about the cost of cancer treatment? Now we reach the part nobody wants to talk about. Bill cancer surgery involve bowel damaging biopsy, surgery, chemotherapy, radiation-targeted therapy, immunotherapy. Supportive care. Not every patient needs every treatment, but some people require long-term therapy. That means costs can range from relatively manageable amounts for certain procedures to hundreds of millions of Vietnamese dong or much more for complicated, prolonged treatment, especially when expensive targeted or immunotherapy drugs are involved. Insurance coverage. The hospital, the specific cancer, the treatment plan, and whether certain medications are covered can make a huge difference. So if someone says, "My cancer treatment cost me $20,000, that does not mean every cancer patient needs $20,000. Cancer treatment is not a restaurant menu. You don't just walk in and say, "1 stage 4 cancer combo, please." And now, some dark humor for the family if someone in your family is facing advanced cancer. The most important question isn't always, how many days are left? Sometimes the better question is, what would make the time we have left meaningful? Maybe they want their favorite food. If the doctor says it's okay, order it. Maybe they want to see an old friend, call them. Maybe they want to visit somewhere special, if their health allows it. Make a plan. Maybe they want to tell stories about the family. Turn on the recorder. Maybe they want to leave messages for their children. Write them down, and please don't turn the entire house into a 24-hour hospital conference room. The patient is still a person. They still want to laugh. They still want to hear funny stories. They still want to be treated like themselves. Not like a medical chart that somehow learned how to walk. The unofficial funny. Last wishes Dios if I ever had to leave a few words for my family, I might write, Number 1, do not fight over the TV. I already know who watches what. Number 2, my phone password is stored somewhere safe. But if you find my search history and it looks weird, please pretend you never saw it. Number 3, don't throw away my favorite jacket. Unless it's completely disgusting. In that case, I officially give you permission. Number 4, if you hold a funeral, don't play sad music for 5 straight hours. I've already had enough drama in this lifetime. Number 5, if you miss me, sit down together and eat a really good meal. And, finally, don't spend the rest of your lives crying. You still have a life to live. Remember me with a funny story. The most important MESSAG cancer is serious, but a cancer diagnosis does not automatically mean the end of the road. Modern medicine has surgery, radiation therapy, chemotherapy, targeted therapy, immunotherapy, and many new treatments under investigation. The WHO also notes that a significant proportion of cancer deaths are linked to preventable or modifiable risk factors, including tobacco use, alcohol consumption, excess body weight, physical inactivity, and unhealthy diet. Air pollution is also an important risk factor, particularly for lung cancer, so the biggest lesson isn't, how terrifying is cancer? The better question is, what can we do before it appears, and what should we do when something unusual happens? Don't wait for your body to scream before you start listening. Get checked when persistent or unusual symptoms appear. Follow recommended screening guidelines when appropriate. Don't smoke. Limit alcohol. Stay physically active. Eat a balanced diet. And if you ever receive a frightening diagnosis, don't immediately assume the story is over. Maybe it's the beginning of the next chapter, and if your family has to walk through that chapter together, Remember one thing: hospitals can treat the disease, but family can give people another reason to keep fighting. If you found this video useful, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, because sometimes the most important thing we can learn about cancer is not how to fear it, it's how to understand it.